It's so great to see you here on the video today. And I want to start off by saying your feelings are valid and your frustrations are real, my friend. Okay? And I can bet that during the past 10 plus years that I have been my mom's caregiver, I have probably experienced and gone through as many and all the feelings that you're having right now as well. All right? So that's my hope today in the video, is to validate and um, hopefully reassure you that you are not alone and that you're not the first one to experience these feelings as you're going through your caregiving situation. All right. And so I want to just introduce myself and let you know who you're hanging out with today. My name is Erin, and I am the curator here at A Caregiver's Compass. And it's my goal that by the end of our time together, we'll have accomplished three things. One, I want you to know that it's perfectly okay to have these feelings and these frustrations and anger and whatever other strong emotions that are challenging you right now. Okay. I'm going to share a little bit of my story, and hopefully, if it rings true with you, or at least gives you some reassurance that you are not alone and not to feel guilty, because I am an example of everything that maybe you're thinking and feeling right now as well. All right. So as you work through these emotions, think of me and know that there's somebody out there just like you. All right. And finally, I want to give you some tips, and so stay till the end. I want to give you some tips that you can actually incorporate right now that will help you navigate these highs and lows of this, what we call our caregiver era, right? Okay, ready for this? All right, well, let's dive in then. So, first off, I just want to reiterate or say out loud some of the things that maybe you're feeling or experiencing. And just so you know, I go through these every day. All right. So maybe that will help you again as well, not to feel so alone. Right. That's the purpose of this channel, anyways. It's to be a resource. It's to help guide you, thus the compass, so that you know you're not alone on this journey. Okay. That's my purpose here. And hopefully I'm successful at it. I don't know. But one of the things that helps me is if you like the video or give me some feedback, then I know I'm on the right track or I'm not. And I will pivot and make some changes to future videos. So that really helps me if you want to give me some likes or some comments and feedback as well. Okay. So please feel free to do that. Of course, constructive, right? Feedback, right? We all got feelings and I don't want to get mine hurt. But, anyways, all right, let's move on. Keep going here, Erin. So let's just talk about a little bit about some of the things that maybe is going on in your head, things that you're feeling. You're frustrated. You're like, nobody understands my situation. Nope, they probably don't. If they haven't been a caregiver and been going through what you're going through, then they probably don't. And we just need to give them some grace. All right, until we educate them on it, they can't do better until they know better. I think is somehow the saying goes, or something like that. All right. When are things going to go back to normal? Well, this is the new normal, and we just need to realize that and deal with it. A lot of this is just trying to get through and deal with it. And I'm going to give you some tips at the end that might help as well to work through these. All right. I have no time for myself. I don't. I mean, except for when I go to work, right? Or I run a few errands. But basically, as soon as she gets up in the morning, that's it. So I have a few hours in the morning, maybe before she gets up on my days off, where I can be out in the living room and maybe I don't usually turn on the TV because it's on all day anyways, but just some peace and quiet time, right? Um, let's see what else. Why me? Nobody understands. Nobody appreciates. That's a big one. Nobody appreciates what I'm doing. And no, they don't. But we're not doing it for that, right? We're not doing it for those attaboys or um, uh, the sort. Hey, you are doing a great job. Anything like that. I personally, I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do. And she's my mom. And so let me just share too with you a little Bible verse that uh, God planted here, the Holy Spirit, I'm sure somehow it was highlighted in my Bible. I don't remember when I highlighted it, but I came across it a few days ago. So I thought this was very appropriate for this video. And it's from First Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. And it says, if anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for his immediate family, he has denied the faith and is less than a non believer. Wow, that really hit home with me. And probably if your loved one is a relative or family member, um, that's why we're doing it, because it's God's calling and it's just part of being a child of God, right? Okay, so I'm not going to dwell on that, but I'll let you mull that over. And I gave you the verse. So if you want to go take a look and see what it says in your Bible, because every Bible has a little bit different of a nuance to the verse. But the bottom line is we're here, we're family, we take care of each other. Okay. And we're not doing it for recognition. All right. Let's see what else. You have feelings of resentment. It's like everybody else gets to go on with their life and I have this. Well, you do. Everybody is nobody understands, and friends try to get me to go do stuff and I can't, because I can't just do stuff at the last minute. Again, we need to educate them on that. All right. My thing that I'm going to go into, I guess might as well start with this. My story is I'm the oldest of three. I have a brother and a sister who one lives in Nevada and one lives in Sacramento now. And so they're not local to be able to help with day to day tasks, but it wasn't always the case. And I used to think, why don't they know that I need help with mom? Why don't they offer to come over and relieve me or bring food over or say, hey, Aaron, do you need some help? Right? Why do I have to go and ask them? Shouldn't they know that I need help? So I've come to the conclusion that obviously they don't, or they feel, and this might be your case too, people feel like, hey, if she needs help, she'll ask. Well, I'm pretty independent, and maybe you are too. And I like, I can take care of this, right? I am stubborn in that sense. I am Wonder Woman. I'm a badass. I can take care of this. So I don't need help. I'm not going to go and ask for it. But if it's offered to me, that's a different story. And I'm just not sure why they don't offer, but they don't. So we need to realize that. And I have some tips at the end here. So stay tuned to help maybe with that situation. But one thing I wanted to share too was my sister, now that she lives in Nevada, had offered to pay for something or send some money for something. And she talked to my mom, and my mom said no. And she told me about it. And I said, well, let's talk about this. Why did you say no? And she's kind of like me. No, I don't need her help. We're fine. Da da da. I said, well, one thing, mom, is right now, since Kelly's not close by, one of the ways she can help is financially, and she wouldn't do it if she couldn't help if it was a burden on her, she wouldn't do it. So I think that that's her way of helping. And so by you saying no, now you're making her feel like she can't help. There's not a way for her to help. So we reframed it, and it made more sense to her. And so she went back to her and said, okay, that would be nice, thank you. And besides that, I said we could use the help. Okay, right. So, and another, a story a situation came to mind when I was thinking about this too. Is I must have been getting coffee or something. I can't think it was a really big thing, but a gentleman offered to pay for something for me, and not in a weird way or anything, just like a pay it forward type of a thing. And I was, of course, objecting and saying no, no. And he said, "Look, don't you steal my joy of being able to help you by you saying no." So sit with that for a minute. And I thought, oh wow. I'm like, okay, then please go ahead. I would love to have that free coffee or something. And I thought, wow, he's so right. He's like, yeah, don't steal my joy by you refusing to accept my generosity. So I thought, oh, okay, well, that's different. A total reframe on that one. So think about that the next time somebody wants to offer, and we're always tend to say, no, 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 right? Again, people are offering to help. So that's a couple of stories from my life. Maybe they resonate with you if you have siblings, that type of thing. And then let's talk about how things we can implement right now that might help you. All right. When from my work experience, it was always said that if you have a problem or you have a situation or you have a gripe or a complaint, then you better come with a solution or an idea on how to fix it. Okay. You'll get more respect and more response from a manager or whoever's in charge if you do that. All right. So here's some ideas on how we can fix some of this. I don't know if fix is the right word, but it can help you navigate, like I said, these ups and downs. So, one of the big things I think is have a list. And I think you should write it down because if you just try to think you're going to remember it, you probably won't. I want you to get out a piece of paper and a pen and write it down or put it in your phone somewhere where you have access to it so that when someone, family member, loved ones, friends, colleagues, if someone asks you, actually comes out and asks you and says, "How can I help you, Aaron?" I'll have a list. I'll have an idea, right? Instead of being like, "Oh, no, it's okay. I don't need help." Because right now I can't think of anything off the top of my head, right? Because you took me off guard. But if I have this list, you can refer to it and say, and depending on who it is, maybe even when you're making your list, put a little name next to it or something of somebody. But like, hey, Susie Q, I love your lasagna. You are such a great cook. And to give, to have a meal brought in for me would be like heaven sent because then I don't have to decide because I have to decide all the time what we're going to make, how I'm going to make it, what we're going to have, menu planning, all of that kind of stuff. So to have that, a meal brought in, oh my gosh, that would be fabulous, right? Or, a dessert. I love your cooking. You bake so well. How about, some cookies or a cake for mom's birthday? Something like that. Oh, that would take something off my to-do list. That would be really helpful. Or something for, you know, whatever, Easter Sunday. I don't know what it is, but that would be something. Or, I can't get the dog out for as many walks anymore as I would love. And the poor little thing is, bored in the house and getting lazy. So if you could come over and walk the dog for 10 or 15 minutes, oh man, would that take a load off of my mind, right? Something like that. Um, do you know anybody that could come to the house to give, me and mom a haircut? I'm not looking for anything fancy. We don't need to shampoo and to style, but just to get us so we don't have to schlep in the car and go, right? So those kind of things, have a list ready. All right. And people will be like, oh, that's easy. I could do that. That's no big deal. You should have asked me because for them, it's not a big deal. But for you, it's a lifesaver, right? So, anyway, something that I think would be a big deal, big help. The other thing is find a local community that you can maybe join, go to meetings if that's possible. I know AARP has a lot of stuff online, videos, meditations, seminars for caregivers. So join them. I think they have a deal for $12. I think that would be they would be a great resource. I know the state of California has some resources for caregivers. And in fact, actually, you know what? I think I'll do a little deeper diving into resources maybe and do a video on that. What do you think? Would that be something that would be helpful? If so, if you think that that would be helpful, why don't you subscribe and turn on your notifications so that when that goes live, you'll have access to that. All right. And again, maybe give me some feedback if you think that would be a good topic to dive into. Also, a Facebook group. That's one of the things that kind of prompted me to do this video was I'm in a Facebook group that's for caregivers for elderly parents. So it's very specific to my situation, but I'm sure you can find one that would be more conducive to whatever's going on in your caregiving life. But one of the things I noticed almost everybody signs off their post with, I know you guys will understand. Or they started off with, I'm here because I know you guys will understand. And so they vent or they share their situation, and everybody is kind. Nobody is shaming. Nobody is making accusations or saying, oh, you should do this or why are you doing that? It's none of that. So that might be helpful as well. I haven't really participated. I'm kind of, what do they call that? Just watching and reading and getting, just it helps in observing in that kind of a sense. And that's what I said. It kind of prompted this video. So that might be another tool for you. But this last one I think is really, really helpful. And you can do it right now today. And I do it. It's called a brain dump. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, or maybe you've already done it. It's a form of journaling. And basically what it is helping to get everything that's up here down on a piece of paper so that hopefully it helps clear some of this clutter that's going on up here with everything you're trying to keep the balls in the air, right? It's a way to help with that. I do it, and they suggest doing it in the evening time when you don't have any constraints on your time and right before you go to bed, so that it maybe will help you sleep, because I know my mind will not stop sometimes. And so this helps with the chatter that's constantly going. But you just get a peek. I get these kind of notebooks. They're during when school gets starts going, when it's back to school time, you can go to the Dollar Tree and get them for like $1.25. Target has them. They'll have some really cute ones. I usually pick up 3 or 4 of them or whatever, and you just write. And I just keep it somewhere, put aside where nobody's going to see it. So you don't have to worry about anybody reading it, but you're just going to write. And you don't have to worry about sentence structure, no worries about grammar, whether it makes sense, whether it's a whole thought, whether it's just a word, whatever it is that you need to get down and get out of here, you write it down, and you just write, 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 write. Sometimes it might be something that you forgot to do. Sometimes it's a feeling. Sometimes it's something that happened. It might just be whatever it is, my friends, just write it down. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to flow. It doesn't have to be anything but helpful to you. Okay. And when you get to the end, when you think you're almost done, you kind of stop for a minute. And if the thoughts are slowing down, or there isn't one for another, if there's a gap between that last one and this next one, then you're probably done. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to put your pencil down, pen down, close the book up, and be done with it. It kind of signals to your brain, okay, we're good, we're done, I can rest now. And then, if you want to take this a step further, and some people use this actually to help with planning their day or their to-do list, but you don't have to go that into it that deep. But one thing you might want to do is go back the next morning when you've had some time to be away from it, and maybe just read through it, and then take a highlighter and highlight things that look like they would be on your to-do list, something that you forgot to do, something that you've been thinking about wanting to do, that type of thing. And maybe go through and just highlight those things, right? Because everything else is probably just thoughts of feelings or whatever. And if it's helpful, then take those items and transfer them to your planner or transfer them to your to-do list. Okay. So that's one way to further use it a little bit more than just a dumping ground. But I'm telling you, it is really a helpful tool. So that's something you could do right away. All right. So I just wanted to leave you with that one as well, because I think that's a really big tool that we could put in our toolbox to help. All right. And that helps. Um, okay. So I think that's it. I don't want to make these, ever too long. So let me leave you with this thought. As always, a caregiver's journey is best traveled together. And that's why I'm here for you. That's why I created this channel. And I am honored that you are here with me today. And I hope that we'll see you again on another video. And until then, though, I'm going to leave you with some big hugs and some lots of love. And know that I'm thinking about you and praying for you. And we'll see you on the next video. Okay, my friends? Bye for now.